Hello everybody, this is your student Facebook meteorologist Sean Bagden here, and we're going to be going live here to talk about our day 7 forecast here for KGFL here in New York in the Hudson Valley. As we can see here, looking at our low-level water vapor imagery from weather.cod, College of DuPage website right here, we can see this complex of thunderstorms that has started to develop out in front of a cold front, which is clearly visible here, draped across the northeast and into the Ohio River Valley. And this is going to slowly progress off to the east. It's pretty much a stationary front, at least for the past while, but looks like it's going to progress through the area tonight, finally giving us a reprieve to the cloudiness and rainfall across the area. That being said, cold temperatures are going to be in place behind this front, especially overnight as this dry air comes in place at the surface. Could be looking at a good radiational cooling setup tonight, but that's if this low-level moisture does end up getting out of here, which, since we're in a mountain valley right here, we'll have to see what the models are showing in the forecasted soundings, as we may get it to linger a little longer, allowing for higher dew points and higher low temperatures here across the Hudson River Valley. But we'll keep an eye on that as we move into the forecast period. Also, looking at this shortwave impulse moving through the Great Lakes here, looks like it's kind of drying out. A lot of dry air getting pumped in behind it, so wouldn't expect this to be much of a player for precipitation tomorrow, especially given the cold air and minimal dynamics in place behind this cold front. Would expect a pretty partly cloudy to mostly sunny day tomorrow across the region given this. So again, we'll be going on the high end of guidance for temperatures. For high temperatures here, we'll have to keep an eye on this low temperature setup for the day tomorrow. We'll get SPC meso analysis right now just to show you what's going on. Here's that complex of showers and thunderstorms that has developed out in front of the front right here, and we can see that southerly flow is bringing those dew points into the low 60s here, coming into the front of this front here, but behind it we can see our dew points back down into the low to mid 40s back here. With the moderation of those dew points coming across Lake Ontario, would not be surprised to see them be in the mid 40s tonight across the KGFL area, resulting in low temperatures right around that mid 40s range, especially given the clearing skies expected back here. Kind of hard to tell because there's a lot of unknown observations back here, but would believe that this is some pretty clear skies back behind this front right here. Expecting those crashing temps. Looking at our, hold on, here we go, MSLP pressure and wind, we can see a low pressure system is in place up here that's going to be pushing off to the east along with this cold front, which we can see right here with our pressure falls in place. And we get that wind shift coming in behind this with that cold northwesterly flow coming in behind it. Can kind of see that in place right here. And then we have that area of higher pressure starting to develop behind it, which will start to enhance that northwesterly flow as we go into the night tonight. Here we go. High pressure at 6 hours out is going to be really starting to build in across the Great Lakes here. So we would expect northerly surface flow. Not exactly sure why it's showing westerlies here, but would expect northerly flow getting funneled down through the mountains here, resulting in colder air being in place, and this should result in calm conditions tonight, allowing for that radiational cooling to really get in place tonight, especially with the cold air advection behind this cold front right here. That's clearly visible. Definitely seems like it is a weakening cold frontal feature, but we'll keep an eye on that. So we're going to head on over to models right now, as always, and we're going to type in KGFL here, KGFL, and first we're going to have a look at our moisture profile here to see what we're going to be expecting tonight, and then we'll iron down temperatures from there. Won't necessarily look at temperatures right now. We're just going to look at how saturated or unsaturated this becomes as the cold frontal passage moves through later tonight. So as we can see right here, this is coming in towards the end of that forecast period, and we can see this big nose of dry air that starts to come in aloft right around 850 millibars right here, and would expect that this subsidence inversion starts to whittle away right here, but if it does not, would not expect much decrease in temperature, but would expect that this ends up getting a little more down to the surface, these drier temperatures here, allowing those temperatures to crash into the mid and low 40s here. Going in through the morning hours tomorrow, according to the NAM, it doesn't look like much dry air reaches the surface here, but I would expect, especially given these drier conditions aloft and these very calm surface winds, and even up to, 1 kilometer up, we have calm surface winds, would expect temperatures to really fall off, especially if we don't get much in the way of rain tonight. If we do get any rain, which I was not expecting, but if we do get some rain tonight, would definitely expect this scenario to occur, because we'd have low-level moisture really hanging tough and lingering in these mountain valleys, but would not expect that to be the case here. I think the NAM is overdoing the subsidence inversion by a good amount. I think we see those dew points get into the low mid 50s there, like 44, and we get that low around 45. As we head into the day tomorrow, looks like that short wave does end up saturating a little bit the lower atmosphere right here, up to about 700 millibars, but that shouldn't be a deep enough cloud deck to result in precipitation, especially since we are not seeing very deep negative omega values here in the 700 to 850 layer. Would expect generally cloudy conditions under this moisture plume right here. Would generally look for a little more saturation here, and no instability, so thunderstorms not a threat at this time. Also, one other thing to note back here is that we have this northerly flow at the surface, which is going to be keeping our temperatures rather cold at the surface tomorrow. Would not expect much in the way of warming, even if we do get those sunny skies, because that northerly flow will sock in that colder air at the surface. Loft temperatures may actually end up being warmer throughout the day than at the surface, which would lead to some pretty nice inversion pictures up on Whiteface Mountain. I would not be surprised with that, especially given the southerly or southwesterly flow coming out just above the surface here, right around that 925 millibar level. Going in through the night tomorrow night, looks like that moisture does stick around, so would not expect temperatures to drop all that dramatically overnight tomorrow night. So really expecting that low temperature to be realized overnight tonight, especially since it looks like saturation will be in place through a large portion of the low levels of the atmosphere here, leading to a low stratus deck I'm not expecting much in the way of radiational cooling tomorrow night, but tonight is the night for that. So that's what we're going to be having a look at right here. Would expect temperatures to be a little bit lower than the NAM is expecting here, that's for sure. I'm going to see if we can get a little bit more of an accurate picture here with this temperature dew point combination. So looking right now, we're going to head over, as always, to that 21Z time frame right here. Here we go. And 21Z, we can see the temperature was 70 degrees over 58 dew point. So 70 over 58. We can see the NAM is a little moist, which is probably why it's not dropping those temperatures quite as far. So we're going to see if we have a model that has a little more accurate of a moisture profile here. That'll drop those temperatures a little further down overnight here. 70 over 58, I'm not really seeing that there either. NSSL generally goes a bit colder, but again, not really seeing an accurately modeled moisture profile right here. What about the H4 NMMB? Again, really missing on these dew points here. Might have to go with the HER, which tends to mix them out a good amount. Let's go to the 18Z HER here. And again, really missing on those dew points here, which is quite a surprise. So we're just going to go back to, I believe it was the NSSL that was close. No, it wasn't. ARW. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable for right now. So again, we're just going to add a degree to what goes on here, because we're about a degree off on that dew point, or 2 degrees off on that dew point, and 2 degrees off on that temperature. Actually, this could end up being pretty accurate, but we will add that 1 degree for that high temperature, as it does appear that we will be a little warmer through the day tomorrow, just given that drier air near the surface here. So we'll follow this into the afternoon or the overnight hours tonight, and we can see that we start to get this drying occurring in the low levels here, where the dew point does start to separate from the temperature a bit. Would not be expecting fog until the early morning hours with a profile such as that. I believe the ARW does not show precipitation overnight tonight, as the NAM did, and you can see that the moisture profile is a little more reasonable here, because I would not expect 800 millibar humidities to be dropping to negative 40 degrees Celsius like the NAM was showing. I believe that run was a bit more of an error here. So this is definitely a good amount more reasonable than the NAM 3K. And we can see right around this 6Z time frame, which is where this forecast period ends, temperatures drop to around that 51 degree mark, and we see those dew points starting to fall off a little bit here around that 6Z time frame. And there we go. Then we start to really drop them off right into the mid-40s here. I do expect this to be a pretty accurate outcome here, with these low temperatures, as I was saying, dropping into those mid-40s right here. Yep, there we go. Temperatures dropping to right around that 44, 45 degree mark. Wouldn't even be surprised to see a 43 degree low right here. So I'll probably go with that. Yeah, there you go. Really tanks off in the morning here. So pretty accurate, I'd say, is the ARW right here. We'll probably go with that low temperature of 43 degrees for this period. And Okay. Here we go. We're just going to mark that down as a low temperature of 43 degrees right here on our forecast for tomorrow. We'll get today's forecast out of there real quick. Okay, so that's our low of 43. Looks pretty reasonable, especially given these more accurate dew point profiles here. Going into the high temperature here, we're going to go on the, I believe, more of the high end of forecast guidance here, especially given this dry air that kind of sets in right here. It looks like a high overcast will be in place tomorrow, maybe some alto cumulus in place behind this frontal passage here. That's all I'd expect, especially given this thin layer of moisture right here, and then really clear out by the surface. And what's interesting here, compared to the NAM, is we do not have these northerly winds at the surface, which would allow temperatures to rise a significant amount more than the NAM is showing right here. But all in all, looking at high temperatures reaching into the low 60s here. Actually, that goes up to 59. I'd be more inclined to say right around that 60 degree range for that temperature right there. Maybe even a bit higher given this nose of dry air that develops there. Would allow for a significant amount of warming in place, especially given the southerly flow right here and the calm winds shown at the low levels of the atmosphere. So initially we're going to go with a 60 degree high temperature until we look at our guidance, our forecast guidance here with Brian Tang's site. So now, actually one quick second, we'll just make sure, go to the end of our forecast period here and make sure that we are not missing on the low temperature here, but I don't believe that's going to be dropping into the low 40s before 6Z, and yet there you go. 6Z forecast keeps it right in those low to mid 50s here. So looking at our winds, I believe since high pressure is centered over the area, as you can see with the subsidence inversion in place, I believe our winds will stay generally calm through the day tomorrow. Would not expect winds to exceed that 5 knot range, especially since we are not going to be seeing much destabilization through the air tomorrow, or through the profile tomorrow. May see a slight increase of winds at the middle of the forecast period here, right in the afternoon, but would not expect them to exceed much more than 5 knots here. I can see, yeah, I'll probably go somewhere around 5 knots for our forecasted wind right here, because I'm really not seeing much in the way of wind here at all across the area. Yeah, 5 knots looks to be about what we're going to go, unless we do see higher winds with that frontal passage occurring right at the end of the forecast period, but would not expect it to be much higher than that 5 knot range here. Now you can start to see that little bit of increase of winds, but really not much more than that 5 knot range here. Yeah, so we'll probably go about 5 knots for our wind, especially with this high pressure in place across the area here. Gonna be very calm conditions. Don't think, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's lighter than 5, but we're gonna go 5 to be safe. And precipitation, I do not think we're going to see much in the way of that through the day tomorrow here, just because of that high pressure in place. Don't even think we're going to see dirty high pressure, which is when you have precipitation under a high pressure system. And we can see here 24-hour QPF. Yeah, look at that. Again, looks like 0. Hold on. Thursday 18Z, and we want to go Friday 6Z. And yeah, we can see here and KGFL area right around that 0 inches here. This is that complex of thunderstorms that's rolling through tonight. But definitely I think 0 inches of precipitation. This is going to be a very quick and easy forecast here for KGFL. We'll have a look really quick at this, at the NAM here, just to make sure we're on the right track with that low temperature. It is a little bit on the higher side of guidance here for that low, but again, yeah, there you go. Keeps temperatures in the 50s. I really don't see that happening, only if the wind really gets in place here. But with that cold frontal passage, I'd imagine that we really start to dry out here in the low levels. That would not surprise me in the least. We already did the WRF ARW. Let's go to the NSSL right here. This is right at that 12Z time frame. Oh, this is Friday at 12Z. Hold on, everybody. We want to head like to right here. 16. Okay, that's 4Z. One sec. Let's get up to that 12Z time frame here. That'd be right around 24. Looks like the NSSL is on par with what we're thinking with that low around 43. And NMMB is also looking right around those mid to upper lower 40s here with that dry air coming in. Looks like the NAM is on the high end of our guidance right here. Here's the latest HER run right here. 21Z HER. Right around those morning hours right here at 12Z. Let's try to get up here. I believe that's going to be 15. Yep, here we go. Again, that's more on the warmer side of guidance, and this moisture profile doesn't look overly accurate, especially given the rest of those models have it much drier in the low levels here. So I think I'm okay going with that low of around 43 degrees here and that high around 60. So we're going to head on over to Brian Tang's forecast guidance for the weather challenge just to confirm our forecast here. And we can see we have a big spread in guidance across the area here for our high temperature and our low temperature. I believe this is just due to the fact that some are forecasting sun in place and some are not. I believe the NAM is a little more on the accurate side here, especially since it's showing that really big tank in temperatures tonight and then that rebound with that low-level moisture and cloudiness in place tomorrow. So I'd expect that temperature to reach around that 60-degree range, but it is a little nerve-wracking seeing these GFS runs almost 10 degrees higher, so it could be a big forecast bust on that high temperature tomorrow. But I do think this is pretty reasonable going with the NAM tomorrow for our high temperature. Around that 60-degree range seems about right, and I'm pretty comfortable with that 43 given those crashing dew points tonight. Okay. Looking at precipitation here, looks like some models are showing some precipitation during the day tomorrow. I don't think that's going to occur given what I'm seeing here. We can have a look actually at the NAM. Well, we can see right here 0 inches. So I'm pretty confident, especially given that low level moisture in place, that we are not going to be seeing any rainfall tomorrow, or lack of low-level moisture is what I was meaning to say here. Looking at our low-level winds, we can see they really slacken off tomorrow. Don't even think this is going to occur. Showing right around that 5-knot range there. So I think going around that 5-knot range seems pretty reasonable as well. We'll finish off here by showing you what the NWS is forecasting. We'll not let this change what we're thinking for tomorrow, but just want to see how we compare to the National Weather Service here, which hasn't been doing too well over the last few cities, which is kind of surprising here. But KGFL would be a little bit nerve-wracking if they're going up near that 70 range. But again, we're going to hold strong with what we forecast here. And here we go. Interesting. They show mostly sunny skies through the day tomorrow, with that high temperature reaching around that 64-degree range. That is definitely interesting. And they don't say temperatures drop off that far tonight, which is also very interesting. I'd expect much more clearing to happen than the National Weather Service is expecting here. May increase that low to 44, given what the models were showing. That high of 60, I'm really starting to rethink there, going on the high end. But that's about all we are going to be doing for our forecast tonight. That was nice, short, and quick. And have a good night, everybody. We'll be back live tomorrow for our Day 8 forecast for KGFL. Have a great night.